It's time to check your money with America's Money Maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Sitting in for Vicki is Mike Jennings, your friendly neighborhood advisor. Mike, what's going on? Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year, George. How's it going?
We made it. We crossed over. God bless.
That's right. That's right.
I never take it for granted. Never take it for granted.
Me neither. Me neither. And it's a new year, and as I know, as much as people want to relax and kind of take in the new time and everything, the show must go on. I mean, we all still have jobs and things that we have to do. And one thing that always comes with a new year is taxes. It's tax
Yes.
season.
Yes,
It
it
is
is.
tax season. Everyone's favorite season, I've heard. Uh, but this year in particular, there's going to be a lot of changes taking place over the next year, and you'll find that this will be the last year, possibly, that a lot of people's tax return, look the way that they're used to, right? So the reason for that is the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which was the major overhaul of taxes that was really one of the first, huge things that the Trump administration did last time they were in office back in 2017. A lot of the provisions in that will be expiring over time. A lot of them will be expiring by the end of this year. So next year on your tax return, you may find that you're not getting as much back if you're getting a return, and a lot of other changes that will be taking place. So again, depending on this new administration and how everything goes after January 20th, after the inauguration, depending on the new administration, who's in charge of Congress, we may be seeing some of these provisions be extended, but we should just hope, or not hope, we should just expect that whatever is expiring is expiring. So what does that mean, right? So let's get into that, right? Also, quick note from our last episode about the beneficial ownership information, right? The filing date for the beneficial ownership report from the Corporate Transparency Act has been set to January 13th, based on the lawsuit in Texas. So again, business owners, it's highly advised that you take care of this, as it does not seem the government is willing to let this go, right? So again, January 13th, 2025 for the filing date for the beneficial ownership report. Now let's get back to the taxes. So your individual tax rates, right? These are your tax brackets. If everything it remains the same, then by the end of this year, you may, depending on your income, be in a different tax bracket, right? So it'll go back to what it was before 2017 or 2018, which was 10%, 15%, 25, 28, 33, 35, and 39.6. More often than not, you'll be at one of those first three brackets, depending on your income, right? And also the child tax credit, which was a big one for a lot of people, or is a big one for a lot of people. That was increased. It was doubled actually to 2,000 per child, per
Hmm.
qualifying child, back in 2018. So a lot of people in 2018, people that had kids, that's when they saw that, a little bit of a hike in their income tax return. That's going back to 1,000. So it's going back to the pre-TCJA levels. Um, Income thresholds for pretty much everything are increasing. Your standard deductions will also increase for this year, for this filing year. For single taxpayers, that'll be 15,000. Most of you will do standard deductions. A lot of you don't really itemize your deductions. It's timely. It's it's a little complex in some cases. So more often than not, most of you would just take the standard deduction, and that makes sense. Again, another change for this year. After this year, that's going back down to around 88,000. They almost doubled it when the
Wow.
T took effect. Yeah,
Hmm.
so a lot of changes. This may be, again, this may be the last year where your tax return is anywhere similar to what it was in the last 6, 7 years. So other changes, or another thing to be aware of, your last quarterly payment, right? We talked about this last time with
Right.
with
Yes.
some of you 1099ers out there. you're supposed to be paying your taxes quarterly, since you don't have an employer to do that for you, right? And that last payment for 2024 will be on January 15th, 2025, right? The government wants their money and they want it on time. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Another big one that's been in the news. It was announced probably a couple years ago, and there's been some changes based on how they're kind of phasing that into play, and that'll be the Schedule K for payment apps. So if you're, if you use Cash App, Venmo,
Mm-hmm.
PayPal, Zelle, whatever the case may be, I use that for many different reasons as well. It's just easy to transfer money from person to person. A lot of us don't really carry cash like that anymore. But again, the government who wants their money and they want it on time, they have found that many people have been using this to also have income transferred to them. So there is going to be a Schedule K, which is already an existing tax form, but for a lot of these, what they call third-party settlement organizations, again, your Cash App, your Venmo, your PayPal, they're going to be required to send these to people who have received over a certain amount of money per year.
So it's the apps themselves that will send you this thing?
Yep, it'll be so a Cash App will come from Square, Venmo, PayPal. I don't know the
How will they
parent company.
know if it's income or not?
So that's the thing, right? So once they see that you have received a certain amount of payments or transactions and the amount of payments that you receive, they're just going to send that automatically. So as the individual, where this money comes from, whether it's I know Venmo, it's one of those ones where you kind of have to put a reason for sending the money or getting the money. For most people, we just use this to transfer money or like
Right.
reimburse.
Like if you like, oh, I'm gonna hey, look, we're going out for pizza. I'll get the
Exactly.
pizza. Venmo me $5 each or something like that.
Exactly. You're just reimbursing your friend or family
Right,
member.
right,
Right?
right.
This isn't income. So now this is going to be an additional burden on the individual receiving this. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to file a report with the parent companies of these apps and say, hey, this wasn't, the bulk of this was not, payments or income. This is reimbursements. I don't have a side gig where I have to, where that's how I get paid. These are just payments. So yes, you're going to have to report anything that's just personal payments between family and friends, or gifts or reimbursements, whatever the case may be. If it's not income, then you have to report it as not income. So again, that's just an additional burden on the average American that uses this, right? Another thing that is important, something that's gaining traction, a lot of popularity, is that you are going to have to report your digital assets, excuse me. These are your crypto assets, right? So again, these are becoming more and more prevalent of people obtaining these type of investments. So if you purchased or sold crypto, such as Bitcoin, if you sold any Bitcoin, I'm sorry, the government will want to know about it, right? So again, that'll just be another thing that you have to keep track of in order to properly fill out your taxes. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the case. There's a lot of changes going on. Again, this will be the last year that a lot of you who file your taxes will see a return, or see the norm of what you saw in
You
the
mean a
last
refund? Is that what you
refund,
mean?
a refund.
Yes, yes,
If
yes.
you get a refund,
If you get a refund.
some people we have to pay before, or we end up
Right,
having a
right.
bill at the end of it. But yeah, for a lot of people, if this is something that you count on having a big tax refund at the beginning of the year, this might be the last year for that. So again, as we always say, make sure that we plan for the future. This will be the best year, the best time to reach out to a financial professional such as myself, reach out to a tax accountant, to make sure that you're set up for the next years, because we have no idea what's going to happen with this new administration coming back into office, and whatever's going on with the Congress is probably the same situation. So just be on your toes. Make sure that you have all of your tax documents in place. Make sure you have all of those before you file your taxes, so that you can be as accurate as possible. Because again, one of the biggest things that can flag you for future audits is making mistakes on your tax returns.
All right. With that, better prepared is to be forearmed, is to be forewarned, or is to be forewarned, is to be forearmed, or whatever. However that saying is, we're gonna make sure you're ready. With all
Whatever
the
you
things.
just said, I agree.
Yeah. Just make sure you get ready, so you stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. Is how they say that around the way. All right, Michael, how do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can send me an email at michael.jennings@brackensfsn.com. If you want to reach me faster, just give me a call, 315-748-5540. Again, that's 315-748-5540.
And we remind folks that the CNY Black History Month Jazz
Oh,
Cabaret,
yes.
February 23rd
February
at the
23rd.
Marriott Syracuse downtown in the Grand Ballroom upstairs.
Mhm.
Get your tickets at
Yes. If you don't have your tickets
cnyjazz.org.
already, good luck.
I know that's right. All right. With that being said, Michael, we'll see you next time. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's money maven, but sitting in for her is Mike Jennings, your friendly neighborhood advisor.